all is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star. In all the years, no one knows just how hard you worked. But now it shows. In one shining moment, it's all on the line. In one shining moment, they're frozen in time. But time is short and the road is long. In the blinking of an eye, that moment's gone. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew that in one shining moment you reached deep inside. One shining moment you knew you were alive. Feel the beat of your heart, feel the wind in your face. It's more than a contest, it's more than a race. And when it's done, win or lose, you always did your best. 'Cause inside you knew, in one shining moment you reached for the sky. In one shining moment you knew, yeah. In one shining moment you're willing to try. In one shining moment you knew. One shining moment.
Alright, we are live here from Phoenix in prime time. The national championship game. Number 4, Florida State Seminoles taking on the number 3 Duke Blue Devils. Joining me in the booth is C-Web. What up, C-Web? What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Excited for the tip-off here as Florida State's going to win first possession, but big-time matchups up and down these lineups tonight. We talked about it in the pregame. That's well, go ahead and take it. I didn't even see who that was.
Yeah, I think that was Stephen Chili already getting the scoring going here for Florida State, getting first blood. But yeah, we talked a lot about the matchups during the pregame show. These two teams having played twice already this season, 1-point outcomes in both of these games. So it should be an interesting one. I'm excited for it. I just hope the Sim guys are kind to us and give us a similar game the way we saw the last time these teams played.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams changing things up offensively throughout the season, so probably not the same thing we saw from them the last time they met as Chile rims out his second shot of the game.
Yeah, we talked about him shooting 63% from the three-point line on the season, so not able to capitalize there. Noah Johnson, on the other hand, gets the score going for Duke with a 3 of his own.
Yeah, and that was something we said to watch out for was, is Johnson going to take over this game and pull up for the same threes, or is Chile going to be the sniper that he's been and maybe be the dark horse X factor here?
Yeah, we talked about Wiesla there and Dobbins with the offensive rebound. We talked about that a lot during the pregame show, too, about offensive rebounds and who is going to capitalize the most as Dobbins gets fouled and goes to the line for 2 here. But, you know, just talking about that, that was an interesting scenario as Wiesla actually had the mismatch down low as we talked about Duke putting Takala Wakabi on Wiesla. So Interesting that already in that second possession of the game there was a mismatch down low.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out. Wakabi getting the start tonight. He does come off the bench on occasion, been starting the past few weeks, though, and staying there tonight against Drasport Wiesla. Again, we'll see if that ends up helping or hurting the Blue Devils toward the end, as Johnson's going to choose violence.
Noah Johnson with a rim rocker there. Throws that one down. 5-4 Duke lead here in the early going. Chili Johnson on him. As Stoven somehow ended up in the crowd. I didn't see what happened there. Chili drives it, blocked by Noah Johnson.
That's a big block by the shooting guard there, getting back in defense.
Appreciate everybody tuning in for this one. This should be a really good matchup. These two teams match up really well in an interesting way. As Vasco trying to work over Gunderson. He drives inside. Dobbins says return to sender. And no call there. And it looked like Marcos might have gotten fouled. And then Wiesla in transition capitalizing.
Yeah, and Florida State, I mean, they do have that speed with Wiesla to run in transition like that, taking advantage of it, maintaining the 1-point lead early on.
Yeah, quick timeout there. We talked a lot about this matchup. This matchup here. Takala Wakabi, Draskor Wiesla. We talked a lot about it in the pregame show. Obviously, the points go an edge towards Wiesla with the 16.6 points per game, but what's not accounted for here is the defense that Takala Wakabi brings. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that matchup as the game goes along.
Yeah, definitely a defensive play here by Duke. Like I said in the pregame, Wakabi matches speed a little bit better than any of the other power forward options the Blue Devils have.
Wakabi quickly fires up a deep two there. No good as it planks off the rim, but Adrian Vasco with the steal. He's going to take it. Fouled, counted, and one.
Oh. Yeah, and this is where the inexperience of a role player like Gunderson comes in, taking the bad foul there. He really didn't need to put him at the line.
And I feel like Vasco has a little bit quicker first step, so that'll be an interesting matchup to watch. Appreciate 36 in the stream. Make sure you guys, if you're entering in for those giveaways, make sure you're screenshotting at least once per quarter so that we know that you've watched and tuned in for the entire game to be eligible. Wiesla right at Wakabi, and Wakabi's got 2 fouls here already in the first 3 minutes actually.
Yeah, I mean, this definitely could change the complexion of this game if Wakabi does come out here early.
And it looks like he is. It looks like they're going to bring in
yeah, he is headed to the bench, and Blackman is going to come in. So here's where the speed matchup could favor Wiesla on these next few possessions. We'll see if he starts cutting to the hoop.
I will say Blackman does have the size. He's got 1 inch over Wiesla, so the height factor comes into play there just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Blackman he is actually quicker than their other option that they have off the bench for power forward. So this could even end up in their advantage. We'll have to see what ends up happening.
Vasco now, top of the key. Gunderson on him. Double team comes. Good find. Wide open. Noah Johnson for 3. No good. And there's that offensive rebound. And we talked about Marcos. Right place, right time. Put back is good.
Yeah, Theo Marcos is a great offensive rebounder. And, I mean, his shooting percentage tells the tale there. What is he, 70-something wrong feet up here? Yeah, 71% from the field on the season. So a lot of that coming from the offensive putbacks.
Contested 3, no good. Ball bricked up there. Gunn with the rebound. He's going to push the tempo here. Fires it to Blackman. Blackman saves it from going out of bounds. Hands it over to Vasco. He's going to drive. Pull-up jumper in the paint. No good. Back rim. Gunderson up with the rebound. Looking to push the tempo for Florida State. Good job by Duke, though, to get back. Chili trying to force the issue there. Not liking what he sees. Now there's a mismatch on a switch down low. Dobbins probably going to play some bully ball here. See how Vasco handles him. Too easy for Dobbins.
Yeah, not much Vasco could do there except for plant his feet and hope. Dobbins able to get the move to the outside, though.
Teams not really settling in offensively just yet, both shooting under 50%, but you can feel the intensity on the court as Gunn trying to work over his man there, and then he feeds it inside to Marcos, and Ryan Dobbins forced to foul Marcos, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2. Marcos 76% from the free throw line on the season.
Yeah, I do like the foul there from Dobbins. Probably was going to get called on the defensive effort anyway, so might as well just make it count and put him on the line.
Yeah, subs coming in. Yeah, but there's that matchup we talked. Dobbins averaging just about 12 points a game, 9.4 for Marcos, but the rebounding and certainly the shooting percentage a big factor here tonight to look for.
Yeah, the other factor, Marcos 76% from the free throw line. Dobbins only 50%. So
Dobbins has been a liability at the line this season for sure. 12-10 Duke lead. As there's a drive by Theodore Roosevelt. Marcos coming up with the block, but Roosevelt able to save it. So another chance opportunity here for Florida State. Ching going to drive on Iverson. Iverson all over him like a wet blanket, but Ching not able to capitalize, and Iverson up with the rebound. He's going to try to push the tempo here. Pulls up for a quick 2. No good, and there's that offensive rebounding of Theo Marcos.
yeah, and Marcos, that's what you need when you've got a ball like blah, blah, blah. Go ahead.
No,
I lost
good.
my train of thought.
You're good. Avery inside works his way. Nice move by R.J. Avery. We talked a little bit about Avery in that 6-man position. So as we got one player for Duke who's yet to set a foot on the court is Lussier for the backdoor alley-oop is good.
Hello, clip that.
Marcos getting a little extra playing time here as Atticus Maxwell is yet to see the floor, so see if that messes with rotations. Although we know Blackman came in early for the foul trouble for Wakabi, so this game already off to a crazy start.
It's not a CSBA game if I don't pull out the Porky Pig at some point. Like,
Lussier going to drive on Ford. Ford all over him. Now they switch active hands there as Courtney Palmer swats at the ball, but Duke to get possession back here as Atticus Maxwell finally into the game. Theo Marcos takes a seat.
yeah, so I think complete bench units in right now, although is Wakabi out there? No,
Wakabi's on the bench, yeah, so he's back.
Yeah.
Lussier contested 3, no good. Palmer up with the rebound. Ching going to try to push the tempo here. Good defense there by Iverson to get back in transition. Now Avery on the wing, going to run a picket fence at him. Avery with a step now. He's going to step back from the free throw line. Can't get it to go. Courtney Palmer with the offensive rebound and put back. And as we talked about Theo Marcos kind of having that advantage on the boards offensively, you can see Courtney Palmer and Atticus Maxwell. Obviously, the advantage height goes to Palmer.
Yeah, and that's something that you got to watch. If the rotations get a little wonky, and right now Wakabi currently a minute and a half off the rotation, so that's something to watch. But if Palmer ends up against Marcos, that could negate a lot of that size advantage Marcos has. So we'll see if Florida State uses that, maybe even just as a dummy to negate that a bit in the second half.
Yeah, nice drive by Avery. Lays the finger roll up and in. 42 in the stream. We appreciate you all tuning in for the CSBA National Championship game here, Season 11. Duke versus Florida State. Lussier going to drive. Left hand goes up and throws it down as Courtney Palmer and Ching just kind of watch that.
Yeah, not a great defensive effort there from Florida State, but Lussier starting to make a little bit of a name for himself on that back porch there.
A little bit of a force there by Jack Ford. Good thought there to get it to the interior, but not able to capitalize with Florida State. Now Davis to Lussier. Duke trying to work the ball around on the outside. Iverson top of the key. Three-pointer back rim, no good. So Iverson yet to find his touch here in the early going, C-Web.
Yeah, AI not finding the touch that he normally has, so we'll see if that's he's going to get. Duke getting a bit of a break there as Florida State commits the 3-second violation, but
yeah,
we'll see if Iverson gets this turned around.
Mental error there from Ching. So 20-16, Duke can hold for one here in this first quarter. Lussier one-on-one, Avery, little ISO play here. as he kills some clock, trying to run it down, trying to get that last shot. They're going to hand it over to Blackman, who's 67% from the three-point range. So Theodore Roosevelt had to respect it, and Blackman does the opposite of what I would have thought, takes it to the rim, counted it in one. So 5.8 left to go on the game clock here as Duke to the line to try to complete the three-point play the old-fashioned way as the big, strong Blackman.
Yeah, that was a good take by Blackman instead of spotting up for the three, which, like you said, they had to respect based on the scouting report.
Ford they get it up to Ford for a quick shot. No good. So Duke with a 7-point lead after one. It's been a good first quarter here, everybody. Continue to tune in here. Make sure you get your screenshots in, or save your screenshots for entering for that $50 credit. Hopefully y'all got it in there. Remember to do it once per quarter, so you get credited for that. Great first quarter, though. C-Web, any thoughts early on here on what we just witnessed in this first? Obviously, we got 3 more quarters to go. But
Well, I mean, Duke has got to be feeling pretty good about the way they started this thing out. Their bench unit has been pretty solid, although Iverson, you see him with the ball now, has not been able to find the bottom of the twine, and that could be a problem for them if he doesn't get going and this FSU bench kind of gets organized.
good defense by Courtney Palmer there, forcing both misses. Wakabi now back in the game, so the rotation certainly a little out of whack. Probably will reset itself in the second quarter, but Wakabi with those 2 early fouls in the first couple minutes of this game certainly sent this Duke rotation into a little bit of a frenzy with some adjustments. We'll see how that plays out. Roosevelt for 3, bang! And that's what that is what the doctor ordered for FSU, as they've now cut the lead to 4.
Yeah, that was a huge 3 from Roosevelt that, like you said, really switches the momentum a bit as Duke was starting to feel like they could potentially pull away with this thing, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Iverson fadeaway. Jay finally able to knock it down. Again, both these teams not really. Jay Gates coming in strong with 10 gifted subs. Appreciate you, Gates. Roosevelt for 3, no good. Lots of love from our friends at the VGL. Iverson for 3 again, bang!
Oh, wow. So turning things around, he's got 5 points now after missing his first 3 shots in the first quarter there.
And wisely, Florida State calls a timeout. Do not want to let this one get away. And again, both these teams have played to 1-point games. First 2 times they played this season, FSU winning. And I know you said it during the pregame show, C-Web. Obviously, winning a 3rd time is never easy. Right now, Duke has got their number. Certainly, the rotation adjustment I was going to say prior to Iverson hitting that shot was that it, I thought that was actually going to favor Florida State. Obviously, with Wakabi not having to guard Draskar Wisla, but we'll see how the Wisla now back in the game. So the rotations are starting to work out. I think the starters, for the most part, are back in.
Yeah, we'll see how that, like you said, we'll see how that does work out. Wisla back on, or Wakabi back on Wisla with the starters. So almost evening out the minutes there. We'll see, like you said, probably going to reset more in the second quarter, but he's still about a minute off from the other rotation, just to keep up to date on that.
And we talk about Vasco early on and his speed, and flies right by Gunderson off the screen, off the outside there, past the 3-point line. So great job there by Duke setting that screen, freeing Vasco for the slam. Now Chile gets his pocket picked by Noah Johnson, going to get it out to the speedster Vasco for another slam.
Yeah, that's the second steal by Johnson in the game. So Duke defense starting to take over right now. They're on a run here, up 11 early on in the second. Florida State's got to either take a timeout or try to shoot their way back into this thing.
Yeah, right now they're trying to set up some screens, and Duke doing a phenomenal job working their way through those picks. So 11-point Gates. Stoven's going to have to fire one up with Wakabi in his face. Can't hit the 3, and great defense by Duke in that possession. Pass inside. Wakabi trying to work his way down. Great defense by Stoven, staying with him, forcing the miss. Now Gunderson going to try to drive. He does. Off the glass, no good. Vasco providing the pressure there. Quick pass up the court. Pace picking up here. Wild shot there by Wakabi, but right now Duke with a 13-point lead and feels a little bit chaotic right now, Csba.
Yeah, and we saw the size advantage there at point guard as Vasco has an inch and about 10 pounds over Tyr Gunderson at the starting point guard spot. So
Stephen Chile with muscled that last basket in for FSU. Johnson tries to go for the finger roll, can't get it to go. Wiesla, quick outlet pass to Stovins. Wiesla cutting to the rim, they ignore him, and instead Stovin goes for the runner and can't hit it to go.
Yeah, Wiesla ended his run, and
and I would say right now what's killing Florida State, C-Web, is the poor shooting. They're not getting good quality looks, and credit to defense for Duke right now. Wiesla, this is the matchup we talked about. Wiesla going right at Wakabi and does not get the result he wants.
Yeah, and there's the difference having Wakabi in there. Oh, Johnson drills the long two-pointer, and Duke is running away with this thing right now. FSU desperately needs a timeout. I don't know.
They need some points. They need some good possessions here. Chile. Noah Johnson! Oh, my God. What a block.
I mean, the fact that the clock stops actually helps Florida State despite the fact that Johnson threw that back in his face.
Yeah, finally getting the timeout. You know, as we look at the team comparison again, we know Duke can fill it up. I mean, they pretty much almost had 90 points per game in every game they played this season. Florida State, obviously 82. The Seminoles could give up a little bit at times, but if you look at the numbers, obviously you can see why Duke does so well offensively this season. So curious to see how this one plays out. Still got a lot of game left. It's a 15-point lead, but certainly not over by any stretch of the imagination. 3:40 still to go here in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing to see there is Duke plus 14.4 per game on the season. I mean, they do not let their opponents get close once they get a lead.
Yeah, Stovins. And that's one thing you got to be if you're Florida State. You do not want to let them get it. Put this out to a 20-point game as Johnson, who's been activated here, throws it down, and it puts her quickly right back to 15. But still got a lot of time left here. Florida State certainly just needs to calm things down here and play within themselves. They got here for a reason, and they got here off the backs of some of their players like Dobbins and Wiesla. Those are the guys that got to get involved here a little bit more.
Yeah, and again, things could change once the bench unit comes in. That was the thing that led Florida State to victory the last time these teams played. Duke doing a little bit better job there this time, though.
And Noah Johnson has been the guy here. I mean, he is doing it on both ends of the floor as the benches come up here. And again, I think once this Wiesla, a nice take there, finally ending some of the misery there for the Seminoles. But I was going to say that, actually I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, once the rotations kind of work their way back to being what they were in this second half, I'm curious to see how it will play out. But this Wakabi hits the floor, and we've got, for the most part, most of the bench unit here, but we've got that Marcos Palmer matchup you talked about earlier.
Yeah, some of the matchups getting a little bit off, so the Marcos Palmer matchup is out there right now. Wakabi did come off the court, and you saw Wiesla make easy work of Blackman, so some of those matchups that we were looking at pregame definitely coming to play here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out when we get into the second quarter. I would have liked for the scene the matchups play out the way that they were intended to. Is again another wild shot there and a great defense by Duke. And Duke is really doing a good job defensively in this game. And credit Mitch for some of the matchups and adjustments that he made in this one. As Blackman for three, we told you he could fill it out. But Marcos, the guy on the offensive rebounds that we said to keep an eye on, gets the put back there, and it's a 19-point lead.
Yeah, well, I mean, you say the way we expected them to work out, but I mean they're working out exactly the way Coach Mitch expected them to work out. I was saying those defensive adjustments he's made could be the difference tonight, and right now it's paying huge dividends.
Yeah, Florida State certainly struggling here. Needs some momentum here to head into the second half. Just trying to finish on a stronger note. Palmer gets it to go as he muscles that one in over Marcos.
Again, there it is, the Palmer and Marcos matchup that it's not going to happen a lot tonight, but when it does, maybe could favor Florida State to see if they can build anything in the last 45 seconds.
Oh, and there's a turnover there. Is not sure who lost the handle. It might have been Blackman. It was Lussier that turned it over. Now forward to Avery. Vasco. This is where it's just interesting scenarios. There's a big block by Marcos. Got multiple guys here activated for Duke.
Yeah, wow.
3 starters in the game right now.
Yeah, nobody able to keep up with the speed of Johnson on that break.
And it's really hard to, if you're Florida State, I feel for you because right now the matchup's certainly not working out in your favor with the bench and the starters kind of working against each other. And there's active hands there. And Ford with a steal. Maybe that's the momentum that they need here to bring into the second half. Points would be nice. They go inside to Cha-Ching, who lays it up and in. Cha-Ching with 0.6 left on the clock.
Yeah, so, I mean, that is encouraging heading into the half. You've got to remember you're down 19, so that locker room is going to be a bit of a bowl of fire, I think.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit. We talked a little bit about these matchups. We talked about the 6th man here, Avery and Iverson, but those guys really haven't been a factor. Where it's been a factor for me, C-Web, has been this matchup right here. We talked about the Visa-Wakabi matchup a ton in the pregame show. So, I mean, right now Duke getting really good looks inside, a lot of fast break points. But what's your take on that first half, and what adjustments can Florida State make maybe here at the half to try to get themselves back in this game?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest adjustment Florida State needs to make is to just, protect the basketball a little bit more, not give up as many turnovers, and, oh, good Lord, find somebody to cover Noah Johnson, put 2 men on him, 17 points in the first half. You've got to find a way to just slow down the Duke offense, because it's not that they're hitting everything, but they're absolutely picking the Seminoles defense apart right now.
Yep.
And there you go. You see it again. Gunn just driving straight to the hoop and nobody able to cover anybody's backs for FSU.
Yeah,
right?
and that's Gunn's first points of the game. So, I mean, look at Duke. They're just swarming right now on defense. And they go to Wiesla. And a wild shot by Wiesla. Can't get it to go. So, Duke looking for their second national title. First under the coach Mitch. Playing really well here in the early going. Dobbins with the block. But Marcos would not be denied.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, Dobbins came up with the big block on the play, but Marcos is just so big and strong down there that he can pick up those swats and turn them into points anyway.
Stovins can't get it. Dobbins, offensive rebound, putback, counted and one. An opportunity here for Florida State to try to get a three-point play the old-fashioned way. Yeah, Dobbins not a great free throw shooter, only 50% on the season, but if you're Florida State, you hope he makes this one. Just continues to shoot poorly from the free throw line. So 54-33, 21-point game. And Gunderson with the steal. So here comes Florida State the other way, starting off on a positive note. Wiesla inside, kicks it outside to Stovins. Not sure why Wiesla didn't go up with that. Now Chile.
Telling you, that matchup with Wakabi is rattling him tonight. He's not able to be as effective as he normally is.
Good job there by Chile, getting spicy inside that paint area. Chile not afraid to bring it inside. And then Iverson almost had his pocket pick there. So Florida State starting off decently here with their active hands.
Yeah, Iverson not... Oh, wow, what a shot from Gunn.
Rat-a-tat-tat goes Gunn.
39% from the field for Florida State is not going to get it done. So, not getting enough And that's I think that's the first time Wiesla has taken Wakabi to task at all tonight.
Yeah, he's got to continue to go at him. Don't be afraid of that matchup. Certainly, an illegal screen from Marcos. Don't know if I think he got put. It looked like more like he got pushed there, but a good start here for Florida State in the second half. I know they trail by 19, but this game, the first few possessions, you feel like there's a little bit of momentum for Florida State. We'll see if that plays throughout this quarter, but right now looking good so far here in the early going. And then another foul, and Wakabi picks up his third.
Yeah, so, I mean, this could be an effect, could have an effect going down the stretch. There's still a lot of basketball to be played, and if Wakabi comes out of this game, it definitely could change the complexion for what Florida State's able to do on offense.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what if they sub him out here or not, or if they keep him in. I mean, a lot can change. That's why if you're a team, you don't go away from your game plan, and that means attack the basket, right? So if you put your other team in foul trouble, it changes things. So Iverson, we talked about the rotation there, and Dobbins, another great defensive play from Florida State, is they're looking much better this quarter than they did at the start of the game. Wiesla going to drive, goes right at Wakabi, so back-to-back buckets for Draskor Wiesla. He's got 10.
Yeah, so, Wakabi maybe having to back off a little bit on defense, back-to-back baskets, and it does cut the lead down to 15.
Yep.
So
wide open A.J. Lussier for three, rimmed in and out, and right now, again, that momentum in Florida State's favor. Would love to see them make a run, make this a more competitive game. Gunderson, Lussier on him.
There's a matchup out there somewhere, a mismatch out there somewhere. I'm just not sure where it is.
They go to Wiesla on the other side, 5 on the shot clock. Wakabi comes out. Dobbins going to kind of set a screen. Wiesla for 3, bang, as he rounds it home.
Wow. Wiesla in double coverage somehow manages to find enough space to bang that home.
It's not over till the fat lady sings. We've seen 20-point deficits erased this season. Iverson takes it to the rim. Florida State going to call a timeout. They don't want to lose this momentum that they have going right now.
Yeah, closest Florida State has been since midway through the second quarter when things started to really fall apart for them. So any kind of run that they get, they're going to want to keep that going. I expect them to use up, maybe even use up most of their timeouts here before the end of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, remember to get your screenshot saved for the third quarter, everybody, if you're entering the fourth quarter screenshot sweepstakes. Cha-ching for 3. No good. I thought that was going to fall as it rimmed in and out.
Yeah, just a little bit too strong.
Atticus Maxwell. So pretty even here so far in the second half. 5 of 8, 5 of 7 for each of these teams. One thing Florida State cannot do is they can ill afford to trade baskets just back and forth for the rest of the game. They got to go on a run here. They want to pull themselves back into this game. Chip away. You don't need to do it all in one quarter, though.
Yeah, I mean, trading baskets is great as long as you're not behind, but that's not, obviously, like you said, not what Florida State needs right now. And Duke catching a break there, I thought that went off of a
I actually thought that went off of Blackman as well. So, yeah, they definitely got a break there as Parmer got a hand in on it. Lussier trying to work over the Florida State defense and gets the benefit of a pick. Frees him up baseline for the one-handed stuff. And the easy percentage looks, and that's what's killing Florida State. Avery not able to get that to go. Iverson for 3. Bang!
There it is. Nah, that's what Duke has been needing, is for Iverson to start getting hot. He did have 8 points in the first half after a slow start. But
by the way, that's a
little bit.
That's a 9-0 run for Duke, by the way. They had it down to 12. Now it's back to 21. Roosevelt goes for the kiss. Bank open, ATM card accepted, sorry.
Great turnaround effort there by Roosevelt, yeah. But getting back to the Duke run, I mean, yeah, Florida State had this thing down to 12. Looked like they were going to be able to claw their way back into the game, but Now it looks like it's going to be a fourth quarter mission.
Yeah, I mean, if they could get this down to the teens before this quarter ends, leaves themselves, I think, a better shot at a potential comeback. But again, got to start on the defensive end if you're Florida State. Duke is just continually manhandling them here at every single turn. You know, opportunities galore. As Blackman should have had an easy 2 there on the offensive board. Now Cha-Ching gets
good contest from Florida State not to allow anything on that possession.
Now Avery trying to work over Vasco. Vasco not biting now to Palmer. 6 on the shot clock. Cha-Ching going to get a screen. Fires up to 3. Not able to get it. Palmer fighting for the rebound. Cannot come down with it. Almost turned it over, though, as Blackman tried to get it to Maxwell.
Palmer was doing everything he could to get that ball back. Just wasn't able to get his hands on it.
Yeah, I got to give him some credit for the effort. And Johnson fouled by Roosevelt. So again, the rotation's so out of whack right now because of the foul trouble and the early guys being activated. So it has turned this one into a very weird game for sure.
Yeah, so Maxwell comes out. Marcos goes in again.
Yeah, you got Noah Johnson on the floor while Iverson's
Johnson's
on the bench.
still out there.
It's just a weird rotation right now.
The rotations have gone to hell. Let's just call a spade, I think.
Yeah, and I said this happened in the Kentucky game too. Like Iverson was getting a lot of PT with the first unit, and it really affected Kentucky and propelled Duke to the win. And I feel like it's doing despite obviously not what they drew up with Wakabi getting in foul trouble, but like that and a couple of the activations have really changed some things. 3 ball from the corner, bang! Much needed 3 there.
Yeah, and Mort makes a good point in the stream chat. It is the lack of interior defense from Florida State. You see it there. Johnson just standing on the back steps, humming a tune.
I mean, that's a big reason why Duke has shot the ball so well, right? I mean, everything is coming on the interior. They're really not shooting that many threes. Avery for 3, bang.
Avery's about to try and shoot them back into this game. He's got 2 3-pointers in a row.
Florida State looking for another stop here to maybe Johnson from the corner, 3 ball, no good. Marcos, there he is. I said he gets a ton of offensive rebounds.
I'm amazed that he was able to grab that with 2 guys inside, just snatched it over the back of both of them.
Knights back to 19. Palmer inside, blocked by Marcos.
I mean, if there's a hardest working player award, I think it's got to go to Theo Marcos tonight. He doesn't have a lot of points, but he's got pretty much everything else.
Absolutely. 19-point lead right now, 23.6 to go here. Florida State with an opportunity to get one more bucket here before the end of the third quarter. Cha-Ching wide open for 3. Cannot get it to go. Davis drives, floater good, and again, you called it. You said Mort called it as well. There has been no interior D at all for Florida State in this game. Cha-Ching for 3. This time hits it.
Wow. Well, I mean,
good if it goes. It almost did the way this game
almost did.
Be kind, Mitch. Be kind. All right, get those 4s up in the stream chat. CSBA, see if Florida State has a run in them. It trails 73-55. We're back national championship game. Let's look at the State Farm assists of the game. Iverson backdoor alley-oop to Lussier. That was a nice one. I actually gave that an A earlier. I thought it was a nice play, certainly unexpected.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody was expecting Lussier to go backdoor. So.
Yeah, I'll give that an A. That's a strong. You know what, State Farm, you finished the year off strong. I like it.
Fair, for sure. 73-55. Gunderson hands it over to Chile. Chile blocked by Noah Johnson. So 7 on the shot clock here.
Yeah, they need a score off of this inbounds here.
Gunderson for 3, no good.
Oh,
Johnson.
that was the look too. Just wasn't able to connect.
Wakabi inside, finding Daniel or rat-a-tat-tat gun, and it's back to 20. Well, Florida State,
Yeah.
you want to get back in this game, you got to flip this. You got to flip the switch right here.
Yeah, they've got to pull all the stops out here because right now, this is about the biggest comeback I can remember is 20 points, and they're running out of time to do it.
Wakabi now to Johnson. Johnson now over to Vasco. Vasco cross court, wide open. Wakabi for 3, no good.
Wow, Florida State just dodged a huge bullet there.
Yeah, pass inside. Wiesla for 2. Now it's an 18-point lead.
And we do see what Wiesla is capable of doing when he gets away from Wakabi, but that matchup has limited him tremendously tonight. I think that has been the difference in the game.
Vasco trying to work over Gunderson. Wide open. 3-ball. Bang! Rat-a-tat-tat goes Daniel Gunn.
I mean, the fact that Florida State just can't seem to keep up with Duke's motion either. Like, you know, we were saying there's no paint defense, but anytime, Dobbins, nice throwdown, but maybe a little too late.
Yeah, good foul, though. You got to keep fighting, though, if you're Florida State. Never say die. Johnson, who's played so well. Noah Johnson has played really good. And then an illegal screen. That's 4 on Wakabi.
Ooh. I mean, he'll probably come out of the game here. Well, instead, Vasco goes to the bench. Whatever. Well, we'll see how it affects things down the stretch.
3-ball by Stovins is good. Bang. 16-point game, 5:48 to go.
It does make things interesting. I'll say that.
Chile with the reach-in foul. So Duke going to get the ball on the sideline here. Lussier now. He's going to drive. Floater off the glass is good. A.J. Lussier puts it back to 18. And again, that lack of interior defense from Florida State has been a killer for them tonight.
Yep. Once again, the lack of defense. I mean, Dobbins going to pick up the... Every time Florida State gets a little bit of headway, like you said, it's the lack of defense and the mental mistakes are just... they're robbing them of any momentum that they were ever able to build.
Gunn gonna drive inside. Good block by Stovins.
Oh, nice block.
Marco's fouled. Now Dobbins has got 3. So he's got to be
Good
careful.
foul by Dobbins, though, putting Marcos on the line.
Now Marcos,
Not the worst free throw shooter on the team, but he's far from the best.
Look at the rebounds. 13 double-double right here.
Wow, 14, and 13. And I want to see the offensive boards. He's probably... definitely above 5.
Yeah, we highlighted that matchup in the pregame show between Marcos and Dobbins, and Marcos has just owned it. Absolutely owned it. And he to me, he's been the X factor.
Yeah, he absolutely has. I don't know that either one of us thought he was going to be as big of a factor as he has been, but between him and Johnson, they've pretty much led Duke to the brink of victory here with just under 5 to go.
And a lot of the players that historically has carried Florida State this season have just come up empty. Wiesla is the only guy that I feel like has played somewhat consistent there. A little fadeaway back to the basket jumper is good. He's got 17, so you can't say Wiesla was shut down by Wakabi by any stretch of the imagination. It's just the rest of Duke that has really stepped up in this one, and Lussier takes it to the house.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I thought that matchup had gone a little bit more lopsided than it had. Beasley, like you said, still with 17 points, so still being effective, but yeah, pretty much just the rest of Florida State not able to keep up. Is now he's got 19, but I don't know that it's going to matter too much. 20-point game with 4 to go.
Yeah, and we talked. I mean, he's over his average. I think the problem is they're not getting Florida State not getting the production from anybody else. You know, any of those X factors have gone the other way, and obviously you look at guys like Noah Johnson, who's played exceptionally well in this game, going to get your Jordan Brand Player of the Game in the national title game, which is impressive for him. You've got Adrian Vasco, who's played really well in this game, and you've got Lussier, who's played really well. So you've got a handful of these Blue Devils who've just stepped up in a big way, and I feel like, you know, on the Florida State side, they just haven't gotten that tonight. So
no, they a lot of their players that we were saying needed to step up were not able to. The bench unit was not able to get the advantage that they had in the previous 2 meetings between these 2 teams, and the interior defense. Finally, they place an interior defense and force a turnover, but that's really what's haunted Florida State for the first 3 quarters of tonight.
yeah, for sure. And again, here it is again. Finally, somebody comes up across and commits the foul. Wiesla doing everything he can, but unfortunately, one man certainly not going to bring this game back by himself here.
No, barring a miracle, Florida State doesn't look like they're going to be able to complete the miracle run that they went on there, knocking off 2 number 1 seeds on their way to the Final Four, or to the championship game. So
Chile with Wakabi on him. Now they switch back to Wiesla. Wiesla double team. Somebody going to be wide open. Chile, they work it around. Stovins for 3. Bang! So FSU doing everything that they can to try to continue to fight.
Now I get to really tease Firebird though. Be like, hey, we beat Duke too. You had to lose to him in the final game. Come on.
Dobbins commits his 4th. Yeah, I mean, listen, like you said, it is hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. So 88-69. Marcos hits both back to 22:56 to go. Standing in the way for Duke capturing their 2nd national championship. Legion, the former Duke coach leading them tonight, Coach Mitch, with an opportunity to capture his first national title. And got to give Mitch a lot of credit. Mitch has come far. I mean, you go back to the days when Mitch first started coaching. He used to coach USC, and I don't know if you remember those days. They were rough times. So Mitch is.
I remember Mitch at West Virginia too.
Yep.
That was a rough team as well. So
yeah,
he's been through it, and hey, I couldn't be happier for somebody to finally break through and win a title.
Yep. Dobbins gets fouled there. Chance to create a 3-point play. I don't know if that's true. The first minor to win a championship. I don't think that's accurate.
As coach, I think yes.
No, Legion was young when, right? He was under 21.
Oh right, I forgot. For y'all minor is 21.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what his age.
Well, no, I'm just saying the drinking age in Canada is 19. I forgot that y'all have that 21 thing.
Yeah, I don't know. But either way, age is irrelevant in my opinion. I think it's about what you've done and where you've come from and how you've worked to get to this point. So obviously, all due credit to Mitch.
That's what I thought. Minor is under 18.
Yeah, but I don't know, how old was Legion when he won? I mean, Legion's probably not even.
He was. No, he was over.
Was he? All right.
No. Those guys are old enough now.
Fair. I mean, speculation, but either way, still kudos to Mitch no matter how it works out.
I love how the final 2 minutes of this game has devolved into a conversation.
A debate about being a minor. Jesus.
Debate about the age of consent.
Yeah, right? Too funny. So Duke won season 8. So that was the last time they won a championship.
Glass, I get it. I get that you're 12, but we're talking about physical age. So
don't hate on the new Johnny's, coach. St. John's coming in next season. Glass going to be at the helm.
That's all right. I couldn't give him his second title. He does better without me. Yeah, youngest head coach to win a championship. I agree with Rusty. We'll just go with that.
Yeah, that's fair. Hey, listen, I'm not taking anything away from him. He did a phenomenal job. He's come a long way from his USC days, that is for sure.
Larry, you think you feel bad? I lost to you guys, and I could have been in this game.
I feel like I will, and I will say
Sorry.
this. I will say
that. Get my salt out there.
I will say this. National championships games have been feast or famine. It's either been blowout city or it's been close. There's been no in between, and that's frustrating, obviously, for the league and certainly everybody to tune in for this. And we appreciate you tuning in. Again, don't forget to make sure you get your 4 screenshots in that Natty Stream chat channel. Make sure to post you all 4 pictures of each of the quarter so that you can be eligible. I'll do the drawing here later tonight. Post games, but yeah, make sure you do that. But congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils, 93-75 for their second national championship here in the CSBA season 11. Obviously, kudos to Florida State for getting this far. Played a phenomenal season. Took down 2 number 1 seeds, including the number 1 seed Gonzaga Bulldogs. As well as the Arkansas Razorbacks, 2 number 1s, but comes up short here in this one despite 2 regular season wins against Duke. Duke ends up having the last laugh here tonight in the national championship. Congratulations to Duke and everybody that is on that Duke squad on a phenomenal season. Let's break down this team comparison. What stands out for you here, C-Web?
The points in the paint. Duke, 60 points in the paint. Florida State could not keep them off the boards, off the glass. 30 defensive rebounds, 10 offensive boards. They out-rebounded them almost 2-1.
Yeah, 40 to 25 edge for sure. Yeah,
I mean, that is the story of the game, is the inside play.
Yeah, and again, go back to the rotations getting out of whack as this game went along. Wakabi getting into foul trouble earlier. Noah Johnson stepping up big. Noah Johnson, Theo Marcos. And I feel like there was one other player that was activated during that first half that really, really changed the dynamic of the rotations and completely favored Duke. And then you look at that rotational adjustment that Florida State had to try to make during the game, and as it went on, just their lack of interior D certainly absolutely hurt them in this one, which is surprising knowing the last 2 times there was a 1-point game. The last 2 times these guys played, so certainly didn't see this game shaping up into a 18-point win for Duke, but they kind of had the lead from the jump and kind of just held on to it. I mean, 23-point was their biggest lead. Florida State only led by 2 at 1 or 2 times during this game. So,
also 24-6 fast break points as well. Duke was very opportunistic when they were able to get the ball ahead of the play.
Yeah, for sure. And you look at the fast break points, obviously not a factor, but points in the paint in the first half, you say, okay, we're only down 7 points after the first quarter. you're feeling good about yourself as you kind of flip the script to the second quarter. You shoot 40% to Duke's 27 point, and there it is, 20 points to 8 in the paint. Fast break, 15 of those were on the fast break. Certainly a big factor in that first half was Florida State, just not shooting the ball well. I mean, in the overall first half, they shoot 38%. You can't give a team like Duke that many opportunities to push the pace in this one. 17-4 advantage in the first half. In the fast break, in the transition game, you got to give Duke a ton of credit because they played really well defensively. You flip the script to the third quarter, Florida State feeling better about themselves, but only have a 1-point advantage. They play a little bit better. They get 6 points off of 3 turnovers for Duke. Feeling good. Out rebounded
11-4 in that quarter, though, despite the fact that they won the quarter.
Yeah, and the points in the paint again, 14-8 Duke. But yeah, just again, and the reason they shoot 62% despite only losing the quarter by 1 point. Obviously, all those points coming in the interior, high percentage looks. Fourth quarter was even. Duke certainly still, again, points in the paint outperformed them by 2 in this one. But again, rebounds a factor as well. Second half, Florida State played, and this is what we saw in the first 2 matchups, like more of this. The problem is that first half was an absolute killer for Florida State. But congratulations again for the Blue Devils, 93-75. They win this one by 18 points. What's your final take and final words on this storied season for the Duke Blue Devils?
Well, we should go through the box score.
That's right. I forgot to do that. Oh my God! I don't know. I cannot believe I just forgot that. That's so funny. I'm so much talking about the box, the other stuff that I forgot about it. Draskor Wiesel leads the way, 18 of 11, 19 points, 4 boards, assists, a block. Did have a turnover, a PRF of 22 leads the way for Florida State. Dobbins still a double machine, 11, almost a double 11 and 9, kind of right on his average. 3 blocks, assists, a steal. Stovins, 10 points, assists, 4 of 9, 2 of 4. RJ Avery finishing the game, 10 points, 3 assists, 4 of 8. Very quiet game from him. Stephen Chile certainly struggled here tonight. 3 of 11, really rough night shooting for him. 6 points, a rebound, 4 dimes. Theodore Roosevelt, 5 points, 2 boards, 2 of 5. Cha-Ching also rough night, 2 of 6 shooting, 5 points, assists. Courtney Palmer, 4 and 4 with a steal. 2 of 4. Jack Ford just absolutely struggled. 1 of 7, 3 points off the bench, a rebound, 2 assists. And Tier Gunderson, the starting point guard, absolutely struggled and was quiet here tonight. His PRF for your starting point guard, certainly not a good number. 2 PRF, and that's because he had 2 points, a rebound, and 2 steals in this one. Take us through Duke.
Yeah, so leading the way, Noah Johnson, player of the game, 10 of 16 for 23 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, a steal, and 4 blocks as well, doing absolutely everything. Theo Marcos, probably the co-player of the game, 20 and 14 with the double-double, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks as well for him on 7 of 8.
I would agree. I think those 2 guys are both obviously we know the game doesn't award that, but
No, but and also 7 offensive rebounds. Without the effort from those 2 guys, Duke doesn't win this game at all.
And I did say in the pregame show, he's been killing it on the offensive boards throughout March Madness, and he did it again here tonight, which is impressive because Dobbins is no pushover. Not at all. Alvin Iverson off the bench with 12 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He was cold in the first quarter, but turned it on later, 5 of 7, 2 of 3 beyond the arc. AJ Lussier, 12 points, 2 assists, and a steal on 6 of 7. Great efficiency from the top 5 scorers here on Duke tonight. Daniel Gunn with 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Adrian Vasco, 7 points, a rebound, 8 assists, dishing it out for 25 points responsible for him. A big, strong Blackman with 3 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists on 1 of 4. Takala Wakabi, not doing anything offensively. I guess maybe he was the one limited by Wiesla, but
it doesn't matter. They come away with the victory. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists on 1 of 6 for him.
I mean, how much did we talk about that Wakabi-Wisla matchup? Wisla won it, but the rest of Florida State just didn't show up.
Exactly. Atticus Maxwell with 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists as well made the only shot that he took. Cam Davis going to round it out for Duke with 2 points, 1 rebound, and a block in the championship clinching game.
And just one interesting thought here as I'm thinking about it. Wakabi, did play well defensively. Wisla did play really good offensively, but I think when it comes down to it, Wisla, there wasn't a lot of double teaming of Wisla. Wisla wasn't going crazy like he had through this entire Florida State run to get to the national championship game. And I think what ended up happening is because the rest of the players when they were getting the ball in from either Wisla or for somebody else, it was late in the shot clock. Duke played really good defense, was not giving them any. I mean, I can't remember how many open looks Florida State had in this game. There had to be maybe 2 or 3 total in the entire game. Everything was contested. So, and I think that is where Duke really won this game. Obviously, we talk about points in the paint. We talk about fast break points, but without the defense, we don't get that. So, kudos to Duke's defense in tonight's national championship game. Congratulations.
Yeah, great defensive effort from the Blue Devils, and I feel absolutely the reason that they won this game tonight, the effort on the defensive end, and Florida State not able to do what Duke was able to in the interior. So congratulations to the Blue Devils. Great game from you guys.
Yeah, congratulations, Duke. You guys are getting your banner this week. Before it is out, I got to get the high school banner and the Duke banner, the national championship banner out to you guys. But congratulations. What a great season. We're going to take this week, kind of check over the numbers, look at the cap, also talk and make some announcements about next season, some of the changes, a whole bunch of things to look forward to in season 12. I'm excited for it. Some new teams coming. Lots to look forward to. Maybe we'll do some wired ups along the way to kind of keep you guys abreast of the situation. But C-Web, I appreciate you being in this national championship game with me and on that pregame show. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. I think we had at one point 43 was the max I saw, and it kind of held strong in the high 30s for the most part. 29 sitting with us here still right now. We appreciate you. We love you to pieces. I thank you guys all for your continued support. We're starting to see some of the OGs come back. Happy to see that. So please make anybody that comes in feel welcome. Certainly, we would love to have everybody back if we could. And we'll start to get prepped for next season. So be on the lookout for some announcements. C-Webs, any parting words before we log off?
No, just keep an eye out for some announcements. I know that you and I have definitely talked about some different things in terms of how players are going to be able to upgrade for next season. Not saying we're making any changes, but we're constantly looking at things to add to the store and whatnot. And I know that we've kicked a few ideas around.
Yeah, so. But in addition to being able to earn some of those through Twitch too. So keep an eye out. We'll have that all summarized for you before we get into recruiting for next season. I'm excited for it. Appreciate you all. And that's a wired staple. Yes, it is, right, Rusty? It absolutely is. It is a staple. But hopefully everybody actually reads them. Which is a CSBA staple that they don't usually read them. But with that said, we appreciate you all nonetheless. I'm just joking around here, but I'm excited for season 12. Good things to come. Try to keep it a quick off season. Obviously, I'm keeping my nose to the grindstone to see what happens if 2K does get tools for 25, so that potentially for season 13 we can shift over to 25. If we are not able to get it, there's talk maybe to going to 24. So a lot of things on the table here for coming up, but we will have more of those decisions as we go forward. We appreciate you tuning in for this one. Again, make sure you get those 4 screenshots up in that Natty channel to be eligible for the two prizes that we have going. I'll try to get that out here in the next hour. All right, CSBA, we appreciate you. We love